Good evening, everyone. My name is Christy Bolander, and I am a proud two-time graduate of Colorado State University, and I have the honor of serving as the executive director of the Alumni Association, and this is one of my favorite events of the entire year. It is so wonderful to look out at this amazing audience of alumni and friends of Colorado State University. Thank you for being here this evening to help us honor our 2022 Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. Before we recognize tonight's honorees, though, I'd like to take a minute to share a little bit about this special place that you just came from during the reception, the Sutherland Community Garden. Tom Sutherland, as some of you may know, was known for his resilience during his 6 years of being held in captivity in Beirut, and he and his wife, Jean, for their incredible generosity. Both received Distinguished Alumni Awards. There's a sculpture right outside the theater called An Accumulation of Benevolence that captures those traits. And I'm grateful that we're able to gather together here in their spirit of kindness and optimism. I would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Laurie Student Center staff for their wonderful service, partnership, and hospitality. Additionally, if you'll indulge me a bit, I'd like to thank the Alumni Association staff and the University Advancement staff, with a special thank you to Lisa Hansen and Dakota Bogner, two CSU alumna, for all the work they put into tonight. I would now like to take a few moments to recognize several other special guests who are with us this evening. If you don't mind standing or waving to be recognized, but let's hold our applause. I know typically you're not a rule-abiding crowd, so let's hold our applause until everybody's been introduced, if you don't mind. Past members of the CSU Alumni Association Board of Directors. And I know you're here, so stand up. Of course, you're in the very back. Past Distinguished Alumni Award recipients, members of the President's Cabinet, General Dickinson. I knew I liked you. Members of the President's Cabinet. And please stay standing, please, so we can recognize you all. Our college deans, and our interim president of Colorado State University, Dr. Rick Miranda. I would also like to thank our members of the Alumni Association, whose continued support allows us to bring programs like this to you tonight. And how about a warm round of applause for our newest life member, tonight's College of Health and Human Sciences alumna, Melissa Pappas. Members help keep Rams connected and traditions going strong. So thank you for your generous commitment to CSU and to the Alumni Association. Okay, I'm gonna now recognize our sponsors, but I have a feeling we need to liven this up a little bit. So if you are sitting in one of these sponsored groups, this is your time to be a little bit loud, if that's all right. We're gonna start with our premier level sponsors. The College of Natural Sciences. The College of Liberal Arts. The College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. Thank you all for being premier level sponsors. And our gold level sponsor, the College of Health and Human Sciences. We appreciate all of your support. Now our green level sponsors. I think every one of you is going to have a chance to yell at some point, so get ready. College of Agricultural Sciences. Our College of Business. Pat, I was waiting for you to be a little bit more lively, but thank you. Warner College of Natural Resources, Department of Athletics, the Betcher Foundation. All of you, we so appreciate your special support of this event tonight. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this year's honorees. Honestly, it is my favorite time of year, homecoming and family weekend. And there is no better way to kick it off than this celebration of CSU pride and tradition than the Distinguished Alumni Awards. We truly have a special group of honorees this year. Some of you I have known for years and years, and some of you I am meeting for the first time tonight. The common bond between you all is the inspiration and purpose of your stories. And I can't wait for everyone here tonight to have the opportunity to hear those stories and learn of your amazing impact. I'm sure many of you know that this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Spring Creek flood that devastated our campus and community. The university sustained more than $140 million worth of damage. Our beloved oval turned into a lake. Facilities management pumped 5 million gallons of water out of 39 buildings. The Laurie Student Center and the Morgan Library, named for 2 former CSU presidents that we'll mention more than once tonight, suffered the worst damage, with almost 500,000 books that were damaged. And this beautiful theater that we're in tonight was under 14 feet of water. But when the water receded enough to safely assess the enormous scale of the catastrophe, something emerged that surprised no one: a unified and selfless commitment to serve each other by rebuilding and reimagining a better future for Colorado State University. That's what I love about CSU. In the face of tragedy, our community of faculty, staff, students, and friends rolled up their sleeves and they got the job done. That commitment underpins the reason we're gathered here tonight, to honor 16 alumni and friends who share that same moral obligation and stalwart determination to do difficult things, not for themselves, but for others. That same sense of duty drove recovery efforts after the flood. This theater reopened to the public in January of 1998, just 6 months after that devastating storm. It was an impossible feat, made possible by hard work, mixed with more than a little grit, determination, and a whole lot of Ram pride. To the distinguished alumni we're recognizing tonight, you may be receiving the awards, but you're actually honoring us. Your friends and family in this room, and everyone who wears the green and gold, by serving the university and its students through your generosity, by breaking barriers and building others up, by investing in your communities and our wonderful state of Colorado, and by boldly protecting our great nation. On behalf of the more than 250,000 Colorado State University living alumni all over the world, may I be the very first to officially congratulate you on your awards and thank you so much for the honor and optimism that you have brought to your alma mater. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the interim president of Colorado State University, Dr. Rick Miranda.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Christy, for that warm introduction and your opening remarks here. What a wonderful evening, huh? Why is it that I know you put the sponsors up in probably order of how much we're given, right? Why is it? What's the psychology behind, the less you give, the louder you are? I think there's a master's degree project in there somewhere. At least, if we could get that going, that'd be great. Yeah. Okay. Well, Christy already thanked so many people that had to do with making this event happen, so I won't repeat everybody. But thank you all for coming. It's a wonderful way to kick off our homecoming weekend, and if I don't get a chance to say hi to you tonight, maybe I'll see you at the football game on Saturday. That'd be great. It's previous presidents, Chancellor Frank, formerly President Frank, and President McConnell, we always described this dinner or rather this event as something like a big family reunion, right? That's so many old friends, great stories being told, and some truly unforgettable moments that we were sharing with each other over the years. And, that big family reunion concept really resonates in a lot of ways with who we are, huh? Family, home, a place of belonging, lasting ties, a place where you may leave, but where you're always welcome back with open arms, right? That's what home is. And this morning, I sent a message to the campus community reflecting on that word home and why it's such a core part of what we celebrate at this event each year and a core part of, so much emotion for everybody. The alumni we honor tonight have made their impact in all parts of the world, but a piece of them and their history is always here with us at CSU, right? Their academic home. And in turn, they carry our pride and our confidence in them wherever they go, wherever they live after graduation. Now, Christy spoke just a moment ago about the 1997 flood. I talked about that flood a few weeks ago during my fall address on the Oval. I gave the annual President's Address, and some of you may have been there and participated in that when you were, if you were here a few weeks ago, and if you were here 25 years ago, you might have participated in it as well, especially if you were in the marching band. Who was in the marching band 25 years ago? We always get the band out there. It was a great time. And as Christy recalls, it was a devastating time, but transformational for our campus. And with President Al Yates' leadership, we rallied. We started classes on time that semester, just a few weeks after the flood. We supported one another, and we rebuilt. And like a family, we rolled up our sleeves, and we did what we needed to be done in order to serve our students well. And indeed, we came back better than we were. And that's been demonstrated for the past 25 years. And we've gone through a very difficult but somewhat similar challenge with the pandemic the last couple of years. And I could not be more proud of how our faculty and staff stepped up to ensure that CSU would carry on when we are wrestling with our own real fears and losses and uncertainty in this period. Thanks to them and to the support of all of you in this room, we're back here tonight in sort of a new normal situation. Once again, enjoying a tradition that in our campus home that's been a part of the life and fabric of this university for decades. It has been 25 years since the flood, and we've seen 25 graduating classes leave here with their diplomas since that time. That's well over 125,000 new graduates here, huh? Who've joined the ranks of our alums and have gone on to productive and interesting lives since that fall, when our world was so turned upside down. And that's nearly half of our living alumni since the flood. Now, 25 years from now, think about that, the pandemic will be a part of our history, a time that alumni from that era will look back on with a sense of wonder and disbelief, and even, hopefully, some pride and tenderness. Did we really go through all that? How did we make it? Remember when, like a family, it all becomes part of our story, our home story here, the tales we tell, the character and spirit of this special place. And so, too, our distinguished alumni tonight are part of our story. We're celebrating the lives and achievements of 15 of our most accomplished friends whose inventiveness and perseverance, leadership, and character have brought honor to CSU and to the entire Ram family. A little bit of their success may be attributed to Colorado State, but a huge part of our success as a university is due to them and to the hundreds of thousands of their peers who make us proud to be every day. So we are indeed honored that you're with us and delighted to tell the story tonight of all that you've meant to this campus and to the students who have learned from your example and to the life of Colorado State University. Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome home.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miranda, for your words and for your leadership. Our MCs this evening are Erin Ellis and Hannah Gilliard, two outstanding students at CSU who are members of the Presidential Ambassadors, a group of exemplary students selected to represent the university to advance the public's understanding of CSU and the role students play in its growth and success. Erin is a junior majoring in early childhood education, working towards her teacher licensure at the College of Health and Human Sciences, and minoring in Spanish in the College of Liberal Arts. It's pretty impressive. Hannah is a sophomore majoring in biology with a minor in pre-med in the College of Natural Sciences. Let's give her a round of applause, too. We are so thrilled to have them here hosting the program. So please help me welcome Erin and Hannah to the stage.
Good evening, and thank you, Christy. I am extremely excited to be a part of this event. The success of our honorees and the way they stay connected to CSU through their time, talent, and treasure is truly inspiring. I never dreamed I would have an opportunity like this, to be surrounded by a group of CSU alumni making such an impact in the world.
I agree, Hannah. I am so proud to be a Ram and can't wait to be part of the alumni community when I graduate. We are grateful you all chose to spend some of your time with us here on campus this evening as we pay tribute to our most accomplished alumni. It is our pleasure to represent CSU students here tonight. At this time, we will begin with tonight's first award, the Distinguished Athletics Award, recognizes an individual for the commitment to the CSU Department of Athletics and the contributions, efforts, and achievements they've made toward the success of Rams athletics. Carol and Jean Vaughn met at CSU in the late 1960s. After graduation, Carol began a 20-plus year career as a dental assistant to a local oral surgeon. And Jean went into real estate. In 1987, he opened RE/MAX, First Associates Incorporated, and in 2005, merged with RE/MAX Alliance based in Arvada to create the largest real estate company in Colorado. The couple is deeply involved in the Fort Collins community and has volunteered with numerous organizations. They have generously supported 2 colleges in CSU athletics, where they have held football and basketball tickets for more than 40 years. It is my pleasure to invite to the stage the 2022 Distinguished Athletics Award recipients, Carol and Jean Vaughn. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Carol and Jean.
Well, we are so honored to be here this evening, but the most pleasure we have enjoyed for the last 40 years is supporting CSU athletics. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carol. A little nervous, you know. All these honorees are pretty special people. Not only that, they go put me at the table with my banker. I hope the creditworthiness is still okay after tonight. But we are what's the saying, the cheer that we have at CSU? Oh, yes, we're proud to be CSU Rams. And we really are. This journey started a long time ago for me in 1965 and at Braden Hall. And I was roommates with the Kerr twins. And some of you older folks might remember those guys. They were fantastic. And that was the beginning for my support of athletics. I was hooked for sure. And Carol and I are honored to be the only, there's a few of you here I know that can say that you really attended ball games at the first on-campus stadium. And we did for virtually my whole career there and as a student. That was really special, and then to open Moby Gym in 1966 and all of the fantastic growth of the university and the programs and stuff. Carol swam and did some golf, and everything was club sports then. Then Title IX came along. Is it 9 or 10? I think it's 9, if I'm correct there, with ladies funding that finally happened in 1972. So that's 50 years ago. And I find that pretty ironic that tonight that we would get to celebrate here and those special things. So. I want to thank the athletic department and the advancement office and whoever had anything to say about this, but we're very honored. Thank you for attending, and I want to thank, I got a bunch of rowdy friends here tonight. And among those friends, most all of them are true blue Rams, but I can think of at least one Notre Damer, one Wyoming, Oklahoma State Cowboy guy, and a CU buff. And so I won't give names, but you know, we're happy that they're here, and we're so proud of what Joe and his team has accomplished at CSU. We got a lot of things going fantastically. We got such a wonderful bunch of coaches and students, and I see 8,600 people at a volleyball game here, 2 weeks ago. That's pretty amazing. And so anyway, we're so honored, and I think we had 2.5 to 3 minutes, yeah. And I think I'm there. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree is from the College of Agricultural Sciences. Ben Rainbolt Jr. is a Colorado native who married an alumna, Pam Uris, and earned 2 degrees at CSU before beginning a distinguished career in Weld County. He invested much of himself at Valley High School in Gilchrist, where he served as principal and significantly improved graduation rates. Ben has served on committees and taught in the College of Agricultural Sciences. Ben also served on many boards and foundations and has received numerous awards. He is currently the executive director of the Rocky Mountains Farmer Union and the president of the school board for Weld County School District RE1. We are proud to honor Ben Rainbolt tonight as the 2022 College of Agricultural Sciences Honor Alumnus Award recipient.
Wow, this is pretty special for a farm kid from Burlington. I'd like to thank first the College of Ag Sciences, Dr. Pritchett, Haley, Kelly, Abrielle. I know you guys were behind this a lot. I was honored to be even considered and humbled to be selected. Other friends that are here, Nathan and Brendan, Kent and Colleen, it's just truly an honor to be here. You know, I first came to Colorado State University as a 14-year-old freshman as a member of the Burlington FFA soil judging team. And I spent 3 days on campus, and my world was pretty small back then. And that opened up the world that post-secondary education was possible. And I tell that story because I know when you bring 2,000 FFA kids to campus, it's a strain on resources. It's a lot of time, but I don't think we can measure the impact of all the high school kids that CSU hosts on there, so I really appreciate that opportunity. Rocky Mountain Farmers Union, that job has allowed me to continue to support CSU, so I appreciate that. But more importantly, I appreciate my family. My wife, Pam, also a Ram, has been my stalwart. She's been beside me all of the way, supporting and allowing me to do things. While I was a principal, I was a parent to 600 kids. She managed our other kids. So I really appreciate that. My family's here, Clay and Haley, Matt and Cindy, and my grandsons, Easton and Andrew. Really appreciate everything you do, and this is a terrific honor, and thank you so much.
Next, the College of Business is honoring Nicole Staudinger as our 2022 Honor Alumna. Nicole is a market president at First Bank, one of the largest privately held banks in the nation, where she oversees the Northern Colorado market. She also stewards a giving group that has grown First Bank's Endowed Scholarship Fund and the College of Business to more than $1 million. Nicole serves on several nonprofit boards and committees in Fort Collins and is a passionate supporter of CSU. She has been recognized as the College of Business Mentor of the Year in 2022 and was selected as one of Colorado's top 25 most influential young professionals by Colorado Biz Magazine. Please join me in welcoming Nicole Staudinger to the stage and congratulating her as this year's College of Business Honor Alumna Award recipient.
So, wow, hi everybody. You're out there. I was thinking, I was actually in the flood. I was at Union Colony Apartments. So Spring Creek ran to the south and the ditch ran sort of to the west of us. And I remember sitting in, they were all basement or sort of ground level apartments, and they were made out of cinder block. And I remember reaching out the window and, because there were no screens on the window, why would there be screens on the window? And feeling the water literally flowing by and thinking, wow, this is real, it's getting real. My dad come and picked me up the day later and we moved somewhere else, but I remember those days, and it's fun to celebrate the sort of grit and determination of the CSU Rams. I just want to thank Christy and Aaron and Hannah and Dr. Miranda, Dean Walker, and the College of Business for this honor, and congrats to all the distinguished alumni tonight. So when I sort of got notice of this, I started looking through the list of people that have been recognized over the years, and man, the names that are on there are people that I've looked up to. Many of you are in the room tonight. I've looked at you as role models. I've modeled my business career after you, and started going through the names, and then I noticed someone's name on there, and it was someone who actually loved me. And I know that's a little odd, but as I was looking through the list, I came upon a name I recognized, and he's the reason I'm at CSU, and I didn't realize that he received this exact award. In 1999, the College of Ag Distinguished Alumna was Donald Norgren, my late grandfather. He's a stalwart Ram, I tell you, lifelong donor and supporter of the green and gold. As a young man, he left CSU because he had to go run the family ranch. I think there's a story about calving season, I'm not sure. And he was just a few credits shy of graduating with a college degree. And one of his proudest moments was receiving that degree almost 40 years later from CSU, where he proudly walked across the stage with the rest of the 20-somethings. In 1995, the next day he drove to my high school graduation in 1995 and celebrated with me. So he was really excited that I was going to come to CSU, and he's always really instilled this feeling that family and community and service and that people matter. He's instilled it in all of us. And while he was thrilled I was going to be a Ram, he was very adamant that I met with the College of Ag and that I really needed to strongly consider it. I think I broke his heart a little bit when I went to the dark side, the College of Business, but hopefully tonight I'm making him proud. I just want to say my heart is full of gratitude for Colorado State. I was thinking about the impact that the university's had on my life. I was one of 14 students that graduated from a small town in northeastern Colorado, Revere High School in Ovid. I was really excited to come to the big city of Fort Collins, and looking back on it now, it's so clear to me that this university and the people that are a part of it helped me along the way. Somehow I pieced together the money to attend, and I really don't think that's a coincidence either. When I was sort of looking back on all the help I got with a Pell Grant, a scholarship from CSU Extension Office, a scholarship from the CSU Honors Program, and then what I think is really cool, I was the very first recipient of the Pete and Johnny Peterson Scholarship. They still fund that scholarship today, and I think it's special that he was a Distinguished Alumni in 1995. So just really, really cool to be here today with you, and I'm so honored about that. Tonight is very, very special. All the support around me really bolstered my confidence when I needed it. Coming from a class of 14 and then how many people took classes in Clark? Like your first class was walking into Clark, and I'm probably exaggerating. I think there were 500 people in that classroom. I think it was bigger than my hometown. It was pretty daunting. And then I think about how nervous I was to have my first job interview, but with the career services here that CSU provided me in the prep, I had an on-campus interview and got the job I have today at First Bank, which was 24 years ago. The thing that is awesome about CSU is I know that my story is not unique. I know that there are students that show up every single day, every single year that this community wraps their arms around and shows them the way and gives them hope to a brighter future. Before you kick me off stage, right? Okay, I gotta quit talking. Okay, quit talking. I just want to say thank you so much to the people that helped raise me, like literally raise me. My parents, Steve and Charlotte, are here. My friends and colleagues from First Bank. And friends in the community, Dean Walker, thank you. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to my husband, Ty, and 2 of my 6 kids are here tonight, Haley and Will. Thank you, you inspire me. And just bless your heart for never trying to fix me or quit me or slow me down. Thanks for that. And I agree with the phrase that your greatest contributions to the world may not be something you do, but someone you raise. And thank you again for all of those of you here tonight who have raised me, and I'll continue to do my best to raise others around me. Thank you.
Our next honor alumna is Melissa Pappas and is from the College of Health and Human Sciences. After attending CSU, Melissa earned a master's degree in social service administration at the University of Chicago before becoming involved with the consulting industry. She worked for a Virginia-based company improving the efficiency of state and local government human service programs, and later founded Athena Consulting, which places professionals in long-term positions with state government agencies providing health care and human services. Melissa gives back to her community by serving on the board of organization, assisting children and adults with special needs, and as a member of the Executive Leadership Council for the College of Health and Human Sciences. Please join me in welcoming Melissa Pappas to the stage and congratulate her as this year's College of Health and Human Sciences Honor Alumni Award recipient.
Thank you to my cheering section. Oh my gosh. I am honored and humbled to be here. When Dean Youngblade called to tell me that I was receiving this award, I thought, I didn't know they gave awards for doing things that you love. I'm so proud to be affiliated with CSU. My history goes way back. I graduated from CSU 37 years ago. In 2014, I joined the Executive Leadership Council and then started a scholarship in my parents' name for first-generation social work students because I was a first-generation student. I have 2 sons who have graduated from CSU, and they're here, and I'm thrilled that they're here. And my other son is applied here and will hopefully get in and come here as well. So it will be a trifecta. As I said, I'm a first-generation college student. That meant that in my household, things like SAT prep course, college tours were never words that we ever spoke. I applied to 2 schools. Luckily, I got into one of them. My parents had only been to college campuses twice, once when they dropped off my brother, and once when they dropped me off. About a month after they dropped me off, my parents came back for homecoming weekend. They stayed across the street at the Best Western. And my dad and I took a walk on the Oval. And we got to the Oval, and he looked around, and he had tears in his eyes, and he was so proud that this was something he could do for me. And he was proud that I did it. So I created a scholarship so that I could share that kind of experience with other first-generation families. I've met every single student that received a scholarship, and I even met a young woman's mother who came to thank me, and we hugged and we cried. I have to say, I love receiving this award, but really I couldn't do it without the support of all of my friends and my family who are here, and I just can't say how much I appreciate that. Congratulations to all of you alumni winners. You're all very distinguished, and I'm honored to be with you. Thank you.
Our next recipients are Linda and Don Hopkins, Honor Alumni for the College of Liberal Arts. For decades, Linda and Don have been actively involved with the Fort Collins community and Colorado State University. After graduation, Linda worked in various roles in municipal government before leading development projects with the group real estate company and later becoming an agent. After 16 years in municipal policing, Don began his role as CSU police chief in 1985 and served for 18 years. The couple's service and volunteer efforts have been recognized with awards throughout the years. As longtime Alumni Association members, they are tremendous advocates for the university, having supported dozens of priorities across campus during the past 35 years. Congratulations to Linda and Don as the 2022 Honor Alumni for the College of Liberal Arts.
So this is my cheat sheet, stage fright. Thank you for the recognition. We are very grateful. We are very grateful that our parents were adamant that a college education was an expectation. Only one of our 4 parents was able to accomplish a degree. Really, I'm not very adventurous, despite what they might tell you. I was not very adventurous. I actually traveled 7 blocks down Laurel Street from our home to CSU. And that was 1967. I selected a liberal arts college. I was a philosophy major because at the time there was such a wide array of classes, literature, music, art, religion. It was such an inspiring environment. I had very inspiring professors, one of whom suggested that I needed another major. That's when you're not adventurous and you're in the College of Liberal Arts, that's when the adventures begin. And it was a curiosity, exploration of our world, and the adventures that never end. And I remain grateful and adventurous today. Thank you to the college, to the dean. Thank you, Ben. Rick, thank you very much. And Christy, where are you? And I love you.
Well, I was alive when Ed Sullivan was a popular show. I feel like I'm on the Ed Sullivan Show. Thank you, Dean Withers, and thank you to the faculty and staff of the Liberal Arts College for this honor. We're honored to be here this evening with all of you tonight. We are humbled and somewhat stunned to receive this recognition as honored alums. The dean and two members of his staff took us to lunch to give us this, to announce this award to us, and I can't remember what I had for lunch, so it was thank you to our family who are here tonight. There's 3 generations, 3 sons, Todd, Mark, Jim, all 3 CSU alums. 2 in the College of Liberal Arts, 1 business major. And our daughter-in-law, Amber, who thank you so much. We have 3 grandchildren here, one of whom is a CSU junior in neuroscience, and a member of the marching band. You'll see her tomorrow performing and on Saturday. So. And Ryan, he is in-state but out of state. He's going to Oregon State Marketing and Industrial Engineering. And Birdie, who is the top of the heap in middle school, 8th grade, and she's going to be a rocket scientist. So thank you all, and thanks to our other family and friends who are here with us tonight. It's so wonderful to be here to celebrate this moment with you. I have to think back to what President Miranda talked about, resilience of the university. I was here in an active role in 1997, and that was a really difficult time. 5 weeks before the new semester was to start, we got hit and we had over 30 buildings offline. And that first 24 hours, we were checking on, is everybody okay? Is anybody in harm's way? And that was a very difficult time. The answers all came out pretty positive, and I have to say we were a resilient institution, and I totally agree. We are better today than we were before that flood. It's an incredible, resilience is an incredible kind of quality, and I hope some of it maybe have rubbed off on me. There are a few individuals who particularly influenced my role in the College of Liberal Arts, which lasted for a long time. I was a part-time student, full-time employee of a couple different organizations. Bob Hofert, Roy Meek, Bob Lawrence, Evan Velakos, Lynn Hodgson, Sue Ellen Charlton, Scott Moore, and many others. Great faculty, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of mentors. We hope that our service to the university and to the community is a reflection of the education and experience received at CSU. I have to say, between the flood, 9/11, and there were some celebrations, the Tom Sutherland homecoming, that was huge. The Oval was filled with people with gratitude and happy hearts. And then there are a few of you who might have remembered college days. Those were happy days too for some of you. Thank you so much, and thank you to the university and to the college.
Welcome to our next honor Alumni Award recipients from the College of Natural Sciences, Sisters, Doctors Patricia and Margarita Contreras, better known as Patty and Peggy. Patty and Peggy are identical twins and first-generation students who both earned biological science degrees from CSU. Although they attended different graduate schools, they both earned PhDs in pharmacology and held postdoctoral positions at the National Institute of Health. Patty's career has been in research and development at several pharmaceutical and biotech companies. Peggy was a faculty member at Michigan State University before moving into corporate pharmacology. In 2019, they joined forces to establish a pharmaceutical consultancy firm aptly named P Squared. Since the 1990s, the Contreras sisters have been helping provide educational opportunities to first-generation students attending the College of Natural Sciences. Please help me congratulate our College of Natural Sciences honor alumni, Dr. Patty and Peggy Contreras.
Well, thank you. We want to express our appreciation to the Colorado State University and to the College of Natural Sciences for this honor. And we are humbled to receive this honor, especially considering the caliber of the other honorees. We'd like to acknowledge the people who made this all possible. First, my mother and her father, who taught us to respect and love education and learning. But they were immigrants to this country and didn't know anything about how to get to college, what you do. So going through high school, we liked biology, we liked math, didn't like chemistry. But we had no idea what to do, and we didn't think college was a possibility until a counselor told us, just apply somewhere, please. And we're thinking, okay, UNC Greeley, that smells in the summer. CU, well, everybody we know is going there. I don't want to be there with them. CSU, okay, fine, that sounds good. But it still wasn't really possible. We put in the application. I still remember to this day, the day my sister called me. She got the package. Between grants from federal and CSU and scholarships and loans, I was working as a secretary. I remember that she called me and said, we're going to college. It changed our lives. So thank you to CSU, the College of Natural Sciences, for making that huge impact on our lives. And then to the College of Natural Sciences. We got here and thought, okay, we'll be math majors, biology majors. Oh, you have to take chemistry. First year, we'll get it over the way, get the pain out of the way. We were so fortunate to have Dr. Splitgerber as our professor. He taught us chemistry, and I was like, is that what they've been trying to teach me all these years? This is simple. This makes sense. What other classes can I take? And the College of Natural Sciences, the dean, they worked with us because I didn't want to just be a biology major, I wanted some chemistry. I wanted some biochemistry, some biology. And they said, we'll work a program for you. You tell us what you want, and we'll make it work for you. We said, okay. So that's what we did. And then we were lucky to have great professors who encouraged us, gave us advice, and made us feel like we could do anything. Not only did the professors give us a solid foundation in the sciences, but they taught us other skills as well. I still remember Dr. Wilms in mathematics. He spent this whole class deriving these equations to demonstrate a principle, and you're lost, and it's going on and on and on. And at the end he goes, and here is the intuitive explanation, which made so much sense. So you just threw out your other notes. But I tried to use that technique when I was a professor. And I remember years later, students would tell me that when they were taking their medical board exams, they would get to this one difficult section, and they would go, they could hear my voice in their head saying, now, here's the intuitive way you address this problem. So this legacy is being passed on. And then Dr. Splickover taught us, don't worry about the problems when you see a huge equation or a huge problem. Just take a look and take it into parts, and as long as you know where you're going, you keep track of your units, you can solve anything. Yeah, we were even arguing last week about a calculation we had to do. We were missing a unit. It wasn't matching. And we're like, yeah, we know if we follow the units, we can do it. So still, Dr. Splickover is affecting our lives. So I want to thank the university, the college, for the many ways in which you've contributed to our successes and to our lives. Not only that, today we took a tour of the campus and we went to some of the chemistry, the biochemistry labs, the biology labs, talked to some students. It's so impressive how many new programs there are, at least new to us, and the opportunities for the undergraduates for research. It makes us so proud and honored to be a CSU RAM. So thank you. Thank you.
Next, we will recognize our honor alumnus from the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, Dr. Richard Keeley. Dr. Keeley is a practicing veterinarian with extensive experience in equine medicine and large animal livestock medicine based on his knowledge of farming and ranching. Throughout his career, he has served on numerous boards, especially those associated with hospitals and the healthcare industry. He and his wife, Sandra, have been philanthropic leaders at the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, helping to create the largest class scholarship for the DVM class of 1976. During his career, Rich has mentored and counseled numerous veterinarians and been involved in national conversations about veterinary medicine in rural communities. Tonight, we proudly welcome Dr. Richard Keeley to the stage as the 2022 College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences Honor Alumnus.
Well, thank you. Before I get started, I have a few brief comments, but I wanted to recognize my wife of 46 years, who has been lockstep with me through this whole process of veterinary medicine, from praguing cows and blizzards at night to everything else, and I couldn't ask for a better companion and partner. I'm very grateful and humbled for this. I'm very grateful and humbled for this recognition. In reality, this recognition also belongs to the great many individuals who have donated to both the CSU Veterinary Class of 76 Scholarship Fund as well as other veterinary scholarship funds. I share this with everyone who has given such support. The dollar cost of our professional education is high, but its value is priceless. Financially assisting students is truly a noble gift from one's heart. Many of us, myself included, have benefited from grants, scholarships, etc. Call it what you want, karma, fate, whatever, but you know what comes around goes around. I'm a Ram at heart. When I was just beginning to crawl, my parents took a photo of me in a green t-shirt with gold lettering saying Colorado A&M Aggies, class of 1969. My dad was off by 7 years. So it's come to pass. My grandfather was an Aggie who worked at CSU developing hybrid onions. My parents were Colorado A&M graduates. In the 1976 CSU yearbook, there's a photo of my grandfather, Richard Earl Keeley, my dad, Richard Irvin Keeley, and me, myself, Richard Gregory Keeley. Not pictured that picture was our son, Richard Gates Keeley, who's here tonight with his wife, Chrissy, and all. And Richie is not a Ram. He graduated from the law school, that school in Boulder. I don't remember what the name is, but everybody can't be perfect. Anyway, that picture was of 3 generations of CSU graduates. My classmates and I were privileged to have had wonderful instructors and professors who taught, imparted wisdom, and a philosophy of life and the practice of veterinary medicine. One of our professors, Dr. Bob Scheidler, once expressed his strong opinion that we had an obligation to our future profession, our parents, owners, and to be the best practitioners possible, whether it be at midnight, on an emergency, or 8 a.m. Monday morning. CSU, I thank you and appreciate what you've done for the class of 76, our colleagues, and our profession. Go Rams!
Next, we would like to welcome our Honor Alumnus Award recipient from the Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering, Gary Johnson. When Gary joined Applied Medical in California more than 30 years ago, the company had fewer than 100 team members. It now has 5,000 located around the world. He currently serves as the Group President of Advanced Energy and Applied Learning and is proud of the innovative technologies they have developed, such as the Universal Seal, which helped make minimally invasive surgery possible. Gary was a first-generation student and met his wife, Dina, at CSU. They reside in Orange County with their 4 children. Gary supports the Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering in numerous ways, including mentoring students. Congratulations, Gary, on being named the 2022 Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering Honor Alumnus.
I'm so happy you guys are here. I had a really cherished mentor who said, I hope you can be blessed with looking larger in the eyes of others than smaller in your own. And the second I set foot on this amazingly beautiful campus, CSU always saw something bigger in this small farm town, first-generation student that he saw in himself. And to be included in these amazing honorees and to get this award is just a continuation of that vision that CSU saw in me and continues to invite me back to participate in the school. And it fills me with a great sense of pride to be here in front of all of you. Especially since, in a little bit in the back of my mind, I thought this might have been an elaborate ruse to collect unpaid parking tickets. And so I'm a bit relieved that it wasn't that. So many wonderful things started for me at CSU. I have lifelong friendships. I met these folks at CSU. They come from all walks of life, and if I can speak in a little engineering parlance, they are the radius tools that knock the corners off the square engineer. They've added so much light and color to my life. They continue to take me out of my comfort zone today, and I love them for that. And in fact, when I was notified that I would be getting this award, I reached out to them and I said, any chance you guys would be able to make it and celebrate with me? And without any hesitation whatsoever, they said, is there an open bar? And they're here with me tonight celebrating. I'm pretty sure I'll pay for that quip later, but for right now I have the microphone. I love you guys. I also was fortunate enough to be blessed with meeting my wife, Dina, at CSU. Yeah, you can clap for that. As the introduction said, we do have 4 amazing children, although that came out a little bit wrong. We have 4 teenagers, and they're taking a break from being amazing right now. And so Dina has been absolutely a beacon of happiness in my life. She's directed me to all kinds of happy places. Just the colors around me are brighter in her charmed theatrical light. It's been wonderful to have her in my life. I was so fortunate to meet her here at CSU. And she has sacrificed so much so I could pursue my career, pursue my endeavors, and be up here tonight. And in fact, I would say this award is as much hers as it is mine. But to not be rude to the committee, I'm going to go ahead and keep it for myself. The other thing is CSU itself. CSU is a line of demarcation in my life. There's the before and after CSU. I entered the mechanical engineering school with a dream, and that dream was I wanted to make things, specifically cars. Failing that, planes. Either one was fine with me. And CSU is really where I learned to dream so much bigger than that. CSU is where I learned that the true measure of our progress is not whether we add more things to this world, but whether we add more opportunities for those around us. And I learned that here at CSU. And I was fortunate enough to join a corporation straight out of school, first job, Applied Medical. And I actually run a division, the Applied Learning Division, and I am surrounded by dedicated educators that create opportunities for people to advance and develop for themselves, for their families, and their communities inside the larger organization. And it does my heart really good to be able to do that inside a corporation. And that started here at CSU from a fire that CSU lit. Now, I also run a division that makes things because you can only take the farm so far out of the farm boy, and so I do that as well. So with that, I want to give my most heartfelt thank you to CSU, to my family and friends who are here, to my wife, and if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to looking small now again and sit down. So thank you.
Our next college alumna honoree is Cindy Williams from the Warner College of Natural Resources. With 30 years of domestic and international mining experience, Cindy served as a vice president with Newmont Mining before pursuing her passion for conservation. In Central Colorado, she helps lead Envision Chaffee County, a collaborative conservation model connecting community members and businesses. She has served in the Dean's Council of the Warner College of Natural Resources since 2017 and worked with the Colorado Forest Restoration Institute and the Colorado Natural Heritage Program. Her community planning and conservation efforts were recognized by the Salida Chamber of Commerce Heart of the Rockies with a Woman of the Year award in 2019. We are proud to name Cindy Williams as the 2022 Warner College of Natural Resources Honor Alumna.
What an honor to be here tonight with all of you and all the other distinguished alums. Your stories resonate so much. And my thanks. I was blown away when I was nominated for this award and received it. So my thanks to the dean and the fabulous staff at the Warner College for that recognition. I have three layers of thanks tonight. I'll do them chronologically. When I was a little girl, I too grew up in a little rural community, and we had a playground when I was in kindergarten, and it was covered with this really cool gravel, all different kinds of rocks. And I got in trouble one day from the teacher because I was sitting there licking each rock, and I was sorting them out, by color and texture and all that. And I think when the teachers called my mom and said, "Hey, we think there's a problem with your daughter," I think her response was, "What's the problem?" I mean, this kid is learning. And so my first thanks is to my parents, to my mom that's here tonight, and to my dad who's passed. Thank you for letting me be me, for licking rocks, for learning, for bossing everybody around when I was a little girl. You inspired a love of learning and a confidence in myself that I could do anything, even the stuff that only the guys in Star Trek did. Anything, and that has been my foundation, so thank you. Second, to the Warner College, to the University Honors Program, and to amazing, talented professors that care so much, like Dr. Tommy Thompson, who's here tonight. He was my honors thesis advisor and my master's thesis advisor. You all taught me not just technical skills, but how to learn, how to inspire people, and how to solve big problems and get stuff done. So thank you for that. The Warner College today, I work with extensively, the Colorado Forest Restoration Institute. They are changing the map for the state as far as making the state more prepared for catastrophic fire. And the Colorado Natural Heritage Program helping change the environment across the state. So thanks all to the Warner College and to Dr. Tommy for those amazing contributions. And then finally, to my husband, Brad, also for letting me be me, which probably isn't always easy. For 27 years, our partnership has helped me to soar. And I love you. Thanks.
As a Fort Collins native, Eddie was motivated to attend CSU by participating in the University Youth Summer Science programs. After graduation, he worked as a research associate in CSU Regional Biocontainment Laboratory studying respiratory pathogens. In 2019, Eddie joined the Peace Corps, where he worked with youth in the Republic of Moldova on science projects. After returning stateside, he became a postgraduate research fellow at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. He currently serves as a graduate research assistant at the Los Alamos National Laboratory while pursuing dual master degrees. He hopes to work internationally to combat global biological risks.
The Graduate of the Last Decade Award recognizes a recent graduate for accomplishments made in the area of career, service, or volunteer efforts that have brought honor to the individual and to Colorado State University. First bestowed by the Alumni Association in 1994, the Graduate of the Last Decade Award, or Gold Award, honors an alum who has made the most of the past 10 years in their chosen field or in service to others. Recipients are driven difference makers who make an immediate and lasting impact. Tonight, we present the Graduate of the Last Decade Award to Eddie Kendall for his selfless determination to make the world a better place.
Are you ready for questions?
And I've
got you loud and clear as well.
Eddie was a Peace Corps volunteer in Moldova when I first arrived. He coordinated from America with remarkable Romanian, his community, the university staff, and Peace Corps to ensure that not just his own school would be able to call the International Space Station, but that we would be able to put it on Facebook Live for any student around the country, really around the world, to engage and to connect with an astronaut.
Some of the things I've just done recently, I've worked with worms that we have on board and looked, and we're seeing how their muscles react to the microgravity environment.
Reached out to some international partners, put some stuff together, and next thing you know, we're trying to connect a space station that's flying around the Earth at some 1,000 miles an hour to kids that are like in a village where we have cell phones, and that's like it. And it was a really amazing experience for them just to see them light up and have that same joy that I had as a kid. And yeah, I really hope that they go on to do great things with that experience too.
Eddie really saw the importance of tradition and how traditions at CSU bind us.
Oh, here it goes.
And so through researching the Old Main Bell tradition, he thought it would be really great in a new stadium to have the bell ring again. He wasn't aware that the Old Main Bell had resurfaced, and so it was just perfect timing, and the universe aligned to make it happen. Eddie's so deserving of the Graduate of the Last Decade Award because he's achieved so much since he's graduated. I cannot believe all the things he achieved as a student, but to hear about what he's done after that, sky's the limit for Eddie in terms of what he'll do for CSU and for the world.
I was in Russia for a little bit. I'm in a dual program doing weapons mass destruction non-proliferation. It's one of those areas where science and policy comes together and where we really do have to get it right all the time. And that's one of those areas we can make an impact. So getting a master's degree in Moscow and also in California.
He has a passion for service, he has a passion for others, and he's also incredibly intelligent and bright and is so well deserving of this award. Eddie, best wishes. Thanks so much for all you do, and mulțumesc frumos.
Well, first off, I haven't seen that video, so that was pretty interesting to watch. And then secondly, last time I was here on this stage, I was actually losing my presidential debate. So we'll try to not repeat that performance. But I want to say that it's such an honor and a pride to be back here at this CSU community in this campus here. Growing up in Fort Collins, Colorado, I had the really distinguished honor to attend my hometown university. I remember those first moments when my dad took me to Hughes to watch the football game, or when my mom took me to the College of Business to watch the parade go by at homecoming. I hope you all get to see that this year. And one of the things that always struck me growing up in Fort Collins is I thought my university was the best university in the entire world. And I think that that's something that's very natural for anyone that grows up in this community because we as a university do so much for Fort Collins. But it wasn't until I started, graduating and going out into the world that I found that this community that we have here really is one of the best universities. That pride that we have here transcends the boundaries of this campus and will follow you wherever you go. As a student, all the things were important in the class, but what I found to be really impactful were those opportunities outside the classroom. The mentors that are here, such as Christy or Joe, who took the time out of their very busy day to sit down with just a random student and have conversations about our campus and the community we're building here. And there's been a lot of opportunities in these past 2 years, which I think we can all agree were tumultuous and unpredictable, that I've been sitting in rooms or in conversations in roles and been like, what am I doing here? We're connecting an International Space Station to students in a village speaking a different language with cell phones. And I would sit there and I would look and I'd say, can I do this? But thinking back on my time at CSU, thinking about all those hours put in by my mentors who taught me new things, the truth of the matter is the CSU experience gives you everything you need for not just the jobs you think you'll have, but for those challenges and opportunities that you never knew would come up. So thank you very much for the opportunity to take this award today and for all the mentorship, not just from my faculty and staff here, but also for my wonderful parents who chose to bring me up in this community. And thank you very much.
Linda Meserve was a walk-on athlete at CSU and led it in swimming all 4 years. In 1988, she was hired as an accounting technician at the University of Southern Colorado, now CSU Pueblo. She transferred to the Fort Collins campus in 1998, where she was the first female to serve in numerous roles in the procurement services, eventually becoming the first female chief procurement officer in university history. She and her team were vital to CSU's response to COVID-19. Linda's Ram pride shines bright in her commitment to Colorado State University as a season ticket holder for several sports, Alumni Association Life member, and stalwart supporter of student athletes through several scholarship programs and other giving.
The Jim and Nadine Henry Award has been presented annually since 1988 to alumni who exemplify extraordinary service to CSU and its academic, athletic, and alumni programs. Named Alumni of the Century in 2000 by the Alumni Association, Jim and Nadine will always be synonymous with Ram pride. Passionate about education, this stalwart couple funded scholarships in several colleges. Hundreds of students have benefited from their generosity. They were ardent supporters of CSU athletics and filled their home with Ram memorabilia collected over 8 decades. Jim was inducted into the CSU Sports Hall of Fame for his many years of support and dedication to CSU's student athletes. Tonight, we present the Jim and Nadine Henry Award to Linda Meserve for her lifelong professional and personal dedication to Colorado State University and its students.
Being here at CSU and being able to swim was something that was a big goal of hers. She decided she wanted to swim Division I and be competitive in Division I, so hence why she walked on, came here, and was able to let her.
She was extremely dedicated and passionate about excelling in everything she tried to do. I really like that about her. Very easy to coach, neat to talk to, and just a very important person to have on your team. You need those people.
Her dedication and wanting to be here has always been a big thing for her. And being a Ram, I mean, she loves it. When she first came up here, she procured computers and other things after the flood of, I think it was '97, and did a lot of stuff to get things back for the library and things of that, and that's how she started in procurement. And then she did work on to the Coca-Cola contract, which at the time was the biggest contract with the university, and then became the first woman director of procurement. And so she has always been kind of a leader in that regard and kind of out front. And she has helped promote and push for other women to be in those roles.
In the practice arena, in the pool, training, you also try as a coach to bring out a work ethic in your athletes. And that was kind of like an automatic with Linda. She pretty much excelled in all areas. She contributed to the team, not just as a competitor, she contributed as somebody that the other athletes looked up to and appreciated being around her.
After being married 34 years, I think that we just clicked. I adore her drive, and I also adore that she is supportive and she cares. She was in tears when she was getting this award. She was so excited. And when Christy called her, I mean, they talked for quite a while about it, and she just couldn't believe it. And we are very grateful that CSU is recognized that and that she is getting this award, because she's ecstatic.
That just about brought me to tears. Congratulations to all the other distinguished alumni being recognized tonight. Thank you to my supporters at the Alumni Association and athletics in presenting me with this award. I'd like to thank my family, especially my husband, Rick, who has encouraged me to follow my dreams and graciously accepted every voluntold opportunity I've had for him, from grilling burgers for the procurement office after fiscal year end, hauling t-shirts up to Hughes Stadium, to distribute in the former athletes lounge, or dressing up in a suit and tie tonight. My son RJ, you are my sunshine and you always will be. My sister Sharon and her family, thank you for your support. My friends and colleagues who are here, I appreciate your belief in me. How lucky am I to be thought of in the same context as Jim and Nadine Henry is mind-blowing as they set the gold standard for stalwart Rams. I am proud to follow in their footsteps and their legacy. I graduated a Ram, lettered 4 years as a walk-on, worked at the university for 24 years, and retired from my alma mater. Life is good. Of course, being a student athlete in the early 80s, Title IX of the 1972 Education Act was an important influence. As a bright-eyed freshman, I chose Title IX as my topic for speech, and I was interested really in the athletics portion more than the academic side of the act. During the semester, I had the opportunity to interview athletic directors, even our own Thumb McGraw. Our scheduled 30-minute conversation went for an hour and was enlightening. I had a better understanding of what he had to do to balance the budget, space, and equipment needs for all of athletics. During that time, the women's swim team was able to move into a larger locker room. We took over what had been the men's locker room, and we were able to move from a closet of a weight room to a larger, better equipped one. Thumb's passion for the green and gold resonated with me. Personally, the first several years of Title IX, I believe universities complied minimally until they were compelled to do more. Where are we now? We're in a much better place, but still not equitable between men's and women's sports or major and minor sports. The recent Bohemian Foundation's general gift of $5 million to enhance women's athletic programs at CSU is outstanding. All but one women's sport was specifically mentioned as receiving a portion of those funds, and that one sport has not received major renovations to its competition venue since its inception. I hope it's on the list to receive funds next. There are endless avenues to volunteer and donate to Colorado State that support academic, athletic, and alumni endeavors, just as Jim and Nadine Henry championed throughout the years. Pick one and support it. Thank you again for receiving this award.
After attending CSU, Tim Schultz became the youngest county commissioner in Colorado at the age of 25. He went on to hold several public service roles, including positions in state government before becoming the president and executive director of the Betcher Foundation in 1995. During his 22-year tenure, the foundation endowment grew by more than $100 million. They awarded 900 merit-based Betcher scholarships and 3,600 capital grants. For more than 30 years, one of Tim's passion projects, which has transcended and shaped his career in public service, has been the junior livestock sale at the Colorado State Fair. He was one of the founders of the Denver Rustlers and has led the organization and a delegation to the fair, where he purchased animals to help 4-H students earn money for their college educations. His dedication to the state and its citizens has been recognized with many awards throughout his distinguished career.
Named for Colorado State University's 5th president, the Charles A. Lowry Public Service Award honors alumni who have demonstrated exceptional and sustained leadership in their community, professional field, and have given a significant contribution of time and talent to the university. Charles Lowry's tenure, which began in 1909 and lasted until 1940, was so distinctive, selfless, and indelible that for many, he was the college. Those who have received the award named in his honor have carried on that legacy. Tonight, we present the Charles A. Lowry Public Service Award to Tim Schultz for his extraordinary commitment to creating a brighter future for the state of Colorado.
I've known Tim in a lot of different roles over the years, but the commonality among all of those roles is what a positive role model he's been for me about service and leadership to the state of Colorado.
The first time that I met Tim was actually at my very own Better Scholarship interview back in 2018. And I remember walking into the interview room and seeing Tim at the other end of the very long board table. And it just made me feel so comforted, because even though his position and his presence may have loomed large in the room, you could truly tell that he was down to earth and really wanted to learn about who I was and my passions and my experiences and what made me me.
I don't think it's really possible to overstate what Tim and the Boettcher Foundation have done for Colorado higher education. The very best and brightest students from any state always have opportunities to go to elite private institutions, to wherever they want to go. And we know that students have a greater tendency to stay where they go to college. The Boettcher Foundation, under Tim's leadership, captured so many of those wonderful Colorado students. They stayed here, they made their lives here, and they improved Colorado and our institutions in doing so.
The Boettcher Scholarship, through Tim's 22 years as president of the Boettcher Foundation and his lasting legacy that his time as president will continue to have on the foundation, has been truly remarkable. And I think that having the investment of the Boettcher Foundation through the scholarship and that direct support can be just so invaluable to the success of an individual through their academic pursuits, but also to their growth as a person, and to be able to exit college and undergraduate not only being a scholar, but becoming a more holistic person, a more well-rounded person, and being able to go into the world no matter where that field may lie for them, and being able to make a difference. It's truly remarkable.
I don't know of anyone who's more committed to the ideal of public service than Tim is, and he's put it into action throughout his whole life. Certainly near the end of his career with the Boettcher Foundation, but before that with the state of Colorado, before that as a county commissioner. At every step in Tim's journey, it has been about service to others, service to the public of Colorado.
Wow, thank you all. Thank the Alumni Office. This is an incredible award. I was so excited when I got called and realized when I looked it up, I Googled it, and I looked at the pictures, and it's the Public Service Award, and it really, really is meaningful to me. So I want to recognize a few folks, family and stuff, before I start with my hour-long speech, but I want to thank our two MCs. Let's have a round of applause. They've stood up here the whole night introducing all of us, so thank you so much. My daughter Andy is seated here with me, and up there in the Boettcher seats are my granddaughter Sophie, Charlie, and Lexi, and grandson Max, so y'all can wave, and excited that you're here.
And my son Ty has flown in from Seattle, and his father-in-law didn't believe that Ty's dad really amounted to anything, so he had to come in and see this too. So Robert, thank you for coming. And Jackson and Cutler, my two grandsons, we're heading up elk hunting. So we're going to miss the football game, but I can't miss being with my grandsons. So excited about that. And Katie and Joe Kramer. Katie is my partner in crime at the Betcher Foundation, or was for 20-some years, and Katie took over for me, and there was never a prouder moment in my life than when Katie became the first Betcher Scholar, head of the Betcher Foundation, and the first female head of the Betcher Foundation. So Katie, thank you for everything you've done. And my longtime friend John Borman and his friend Kit Roberson are here. I've spent a lot of time at John's house out at Terry Shores, and he was so good of you, John, to come and be a part of this tonight. This whole thing, I could thank everybody, but I want to be just maybe a little bit different. The College of Liberal Arts did give me the sense of confidence. I knew I wanted to be involved in community, but I really wasn't quite sure how. CSU and the time I was here helped form that for me. So I just told Andy, I just realized it. 72, 2022, 50 years ago was when I graduated from CSU. And that was a time when I came here in '69 that we were at the height of the Vietnam War, and there were protests, and there were protests on this campus, one that you wouldn't necessarily think so much about having protests. And one of the things that I so vividly remember as a young man coming from Grand Junction, not really aware maybe as I should have been about what was going on, of the unrest on campus. And there was a large march down College Avenue, and that night there was this orange glow in the sky. And I lived at the College Inn, which was 601 South House. It's now the computer center, I think. And I walked that way, and it was Old Main burning to the ground. And it had been lit by protesters. And it was a sad day for the university, and it was a sad day for universities all over the country. And CSU, I think, like many places, came through that well. They began to look internally at themselves. They said, how could we do this better? And going from a sad time to the following year, I had to take philosophy, and I know one of our honorees here was a philosophy major. Well, philosophy is a little tougher for me. And so I signed up for philosophy, and I went to the class, and in comes the professor, and he's a young person with big hair out to here, and he has a giant Great Dane with him. And he says that he's from Columbia University. And he said, I have no idea what I'm doing in Fort Collins, except they came and offered me this job because they said they knew there had been these horrendous protests at Columbia, and they wanted to bring in a professor who'd been there. So I am here now to sort of, I don't know why I'm here is really what he said, but he said, this is a beautiful place. Why would people be protesting here? I can understand Columbia, but not here. So there's two parts of that story that I won't forget. He did announce that second or third day into the class that he liked the wildlife and all, but he was amazed with all the geese. And he said, if anybody would bring me a goose for Thanksgiving ready for the oven, that person would get an A. Well, let me tell you, I got an A in the class. And the other story, it was an amazing class. It actually opened my eyes in a lot of ways. About halfway into the semester, every day the Great Dane came to class. So you're used to the dog. He was perfectly fine. He just sat there. And now there's a sign on the door of the building saying, no dogs allowed in the building. And we go in, and I mean, our professor from Columbia railed for the whole hour on no dogs. He said, this isn't right. That dog never caused a problem. I said, I don't know if it's your dog, but anyway, there's no dogs in the room. So he said, well, this is not going to last. This is not right. The next week, it was a Friday, Monday I came in, and there was a donkey in our room. So he honestly, this is a true story, brought a donkey in protest because the sign didn't say you couldn't have donkeys. So I would tell you that CSU professors are creative in lots of ways. I'll end with saying that this does feel like home when you come here. And I was so privileged during my 22 years at Betcher to every single year come up here and have a luncheon with the Betcher Scholars and with the president of the university and with deans and with the folks from the provost and others. And I was always so excited to come to Fort Collins. And I was excited to go. I went to every university. I mean, I went to CU, I went to Mines, I went to CC. But there was something different and special about CSU. There's something different and special about the students who choose CSU. You know, you choose CSU, I think, because you have a sense of your path and you know the direction you want to go. I think you go to a lot of colleges and a lot of universities because you're not sure where you want to go. But I think to choose CSU, you feel like you really have a sense of what you want to learn, where you want to go. And every year when I would come up, or I would make this tour with Katie for years, and we would go to different schools, and we would go to a couple schools, and the students, you'd say, well, what are you doing? You're graduating, what is your plans? Well, I don't really know what my plans are. I'm gonna travel, you know, all these are good things. I'm searching for my goal. When we would come to CSU, literally to a student, they knew where they were going. Now, clearly some of them may be traveling, but they had a mission in mind on the trip. They were doing something. They were already in graduate school. They had jobs. They were so engaged, and the fact that so many of them were from rural Colorado, and the fact that this is the land-grant university, this is the home of the Extension Service, this is the university that reaches out to every rural town, every rural county in this state. And I was just always so proud to be an alum, and proud to be able to be a part of it, just a tiny part, by sharing with those Betcher Scholars their adventures. And it's just been a great honor for me. This is a capstone. I've been retired for 4 years, and I'm going to cherish this as this thing that reminds me of what I learned here, of public service, and of the great students and faculty that live here, work here, and have gone here. So thank you so much.
General James Dickinson's military career began in 1985 after graduating from CSU and being commissioned as a second lieutenant through the campus's Army ROTC program. With more than 30 years of military service, he is now a 4-star general and the senior air and missile defense officer in the U.S. Department of Defense. In August 2020, he began serving as the commander of U.S. Space Command, where he has authority over 18,000 soldiers. General Dickinson has received numerous awards and decorations, including the Distinguished Service Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal. Despite a demanding schedule, General Dickinson returns to campus periodically, most recently in May, to preside over the commissioning of 50 ROTC cadets and deliver commencement addresses at 2 college graduations.
Named for Colorado State University's 8th president, the William E. Morgan Alumni Achievement Award is the highest honor bestowed by the Alumni Association and is reserved for alumni who have excelled at the national or international level. President Morgan presided over Colorado A&M's transformation into a modern research university and fought tirelessly for the growth and welfare of this institution throughout the decades he served in the president's chair. Tonight, we present the William E. Morgan Alumni Achievement Award to General James H. Dickinson, whose service to the nation and career accomplishments epitomize the values that underpin Colorado State University.
General Dickinson was on campus in 2017 for the first football game at Canvas Stadium, which was Military Appreciation Day. And the day before, he had gone into the team room to give the team a big pep talk for the game. So it was time to go up into the president's suite, and he didn't want to leave the sidelines. He wanted to stay down with the team and cheering on the team. He was as excited as anybody along the sidelines.
Our relationship has been both professional and personal for over 32 years. It's built upon serving together in both good times, bad times, hard times, and again, as I said, developing a relationship that very few have over their lifetime. Jim is thoughtful and he's caring.
During the ROTC commissioning, he started talking about our son Nick, who was a Marine who was killed in Iraq in 2007. And I was so surprised. It just shows a level of compassion and dedication that I just think is extraordinary. Although this award is going to General Dickinson and is so well deserved, I think Mrs. Dickinson and all the families of the military families also deserve a shout out for the sacrifice and the fear and the uncertainty that they face every day. When I talk about Rams taking care of Rams, which is what we say around here, I think General Dickinson and Mrs. Dickinson really embody that.
The nation has been blessed with Jim and Angie's service, and we're just thankful that we have people of this character and this quality to serve our nation. And I think one thing, in a very personal level, if you think about a parent who's entrusting their son or daughter to the military, Jim's benefit has been to care for those, what I call America's sons and daughters, to care for them that they're like his own family. And I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you very much. That's very humbling, and certainly I'm very honored to be here tonight, and really thanks to the Alumni Association. And Tim stole my thunder. I was going to recognize these two great ladies on my left and right for getting up in front of us tonight and doing things that are very uncomfortable, and that's normally public speaking. So I'd like to recognize both of them again, but hold on, before we start. I wanted to also recognize somebody that I met tonight. And I think I've met you again or before, but you know, I can just see passion in people. And Christy, you've got absolute passion in what you do each and every day. And thanks for making tonight such a wonderful event for all of us. Let's give them a round. Thank you. So Dr. Miranda, you said something. Where are you? Where are you out here? Is he still here? He said something about 25 years in the future, right? He talked about 25 years in the past, I think 25 years in the future, right? So in my current job, which I'm honored to be the commander of the United States Space Command, yes, an Army soldier in charge of space. That should make a little of you nervous, but yes, yes, I am. But when I think of 25 years in the future, and then Eddie, I saw your satellites there and talking to the International Space Station, maybe, just maybe, we will have one of these in 25 years in space. What do you think? So it'll be pretty interesting to see. So as you watch the space industry explode, and of course when you say space and explosion in the same sentence, people get nervous, right? But when you hear about that, that is amazing what's happening with Artemis and the things that are going on. And I absolutely have the honor and the privilege of being the commander of the United States Space Command, but also having the opportunity to work with folks like Administrator Nelson and the folks that are working there at NASA each and every day. So it's interesting, and I just got to tell you, I'm very honored and humbled. I brought this up here because as we were going through it, it's amazing the alumni that we have from this university and what they have done in their respective areas of study, areas specialty, as well as how they have given back to not only the university, but our nation at large. Let's give them all a round of applause. So when you're an Army soldier, you usually start out your stories by saying, "There I was." So there I was. I'll get to that in just a second. But in about 2 months, it'll be 37 years ago when I graduated. I did 3 things in less than a week, and I'll tell you how my parents thought about that. So I wasn't able to make it through engineering school in 4 years. I had to take 1 more semester to make it over the goal line. And the United States Army said, "You will make it over the goal line or you'll be Private Dickinson." So I had until December, and I did. So I got commissioned on one day. I graduated from the engineering school on the next day. And 1 week later, I married the lady in red right in front of me, right here, Angie Dickinson. Yes, in this crowd, I think I can say Angie Dickinson, and most of you will get a little smile on your face. You'll think about Angie Dickinson. When I talk to some younger folks, they don't quite think that. They're not really sure what to think, and sometimes they Google it, and they'll figure out how old the rural policewoman was. But certainly, married Angie a few years ago, 37 years, and I've got to up front, when I do these kinds of things and I see people do these kinds of things, you got to thank your family first. And so I want to thank you, Angie, for 37 years of marriage to me. I would not be here in any shape or manner this evening had I not married you and drug you all around the world as an Army spouse, the greatest Army spouse that I know. Moved her 28 times to several different countries. We had 4 children, or we have 4 children. We have 6 grandchildren. We've had 2 of our kids graduate or have 3 high schools in 4 years. The other 2 had 2 high schools in 4 years. And she kept the family together while I was off doing the things that soldiers do. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you for everything that you've done, not only for me, but our great service members' families for 37 years. Thank you, sweetie. I love you. So there I was. Ready? So there I was. So if you look at my bio or you know anything about me, I'm from a little town just up underneath Long's Peak called Estes Park. A lot of people go, people are actually from Estes Park? And I say, yeah, I'm from Estes Park. I was from Estes Park, graduated in a class of 69 people, and I was the last of 4 kids going to college. Distant last. My older sister is 5 years older than me. I watched my parents put 3 other kids through college, and they all went where? They all went to this school just down south of here that has a buffalo as a mascot, including my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, a few engineers in there. And then they said, of course, Jim, you're going to go to University of Colorado. I said, nope, I'm going to go to Colorado State University. So, and I heard that cheer. That's probably Patty and Carl, right? Up in the stadium there, making sure that, that I would actually receive the award tonight. But it is, just came here right out of high school, and I came down here looking for money. And I was looking for an an ROTC scholarship, and went to a couple of places, and I ended up at this water cooler over in the ROTC building. And the water fountain is still there. And as I was getting a drink of water, getting ready to go back to Estes Park because I came up 0, there was this lieutenant colonel standing behind me, and he asked me what my name was. I told him what my name was. He said, Jim, why don't you come into my office for a minute? I go into his office. He's got these big leather chairs, and he's got this jacket like I'm wearing hanging on his coat rack, and I noticed there was an awful lot of medals on his jacket. Awful lot, Ranger tab, he had all these things on his jacket, and that looked pretty neat to me. And what did he do? He sat down in the chair next to me, not behind his desk, and he said, what do you want to do here at Colorado State? And I said, I want to go to the engineering school. He said, that's great. He goes, do you want to be in the Army? I said, I don't know. He said, well, I think you might be good in the Army. Why don't you apply for an Army ROTC scholarship? So I did that. So that was step 1. Step 2 was my dad said that was a good thing to do. And so I came here out of high school to be in Army ROTC and to go to engineering school, but I had a dream of playing baseball. And so I came down here and walked onto the team, which was great about this university because everybody can show up and try out. I showed up and I tried out and I got onto the team. My coach was a guy named Ran Rayleigh, who I've seen since I've come back here as an alumnus. And he said, Jim, you can be the 5th string catcher if you want. I said, hey, great. At least I'm on the team, right? And really the 2 best catchers were the 2 middle linebackers for the football team. So in the fall, I was like number 2. So I was good. I was good, right? I'm good. I'm on the team. But I had this thing where I was in ROTC, I was playing sports, and then I was in engineering school. So the second piece of mentorship I got, advisory, was from an engineering professor who took an interest in me and said, hey, Mr. Dickinson, I'm looking at your grades and I'm looking at everything you're trying to do in college. And when I come from a small school like Estes Park High School, everybody had to do everything. You played all the sports, you were in the marching band, you did all those things. But at a university this big with Division I sports, he said, do you think you're going to be a major league catcher? And I said, I don't know. He goes, you're probably going to have to make a choice because I'm looking at everything you're doing. And the best thing he told me was, I don't think you're going to be a Major League Baseball catcher. And so I said, he's probably right. So I wickered it down and concentrated, and thank God I graduated from here with an engineering degree to go on to be in the Army. And I got to tell you, I've been humbled to be a soldier in the United States Army for about 37 years. And leading and being able to work with young daughters and sons of folks like you in the audience has been the greatest pleasure in my life. And I couldn't think of doing anything differently. But my start was here at Colorado State University. It gave me the foundation, the education, the will, the initiative to do well in what I was doing in the United States Army. Now, we've moved all over the world. We've done a lot of different things. But the biggest honor I've had has been able to come back here, because the military does have a sense of humor, and they said, hey, you have an opportunity to do your last job in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And we are so humbled that we got that opportunity, because it has put me closer to Colorado State University so that I can do the things that were said in the video by Maggie Walsh in terms of being able to work with the ROTC cadets here, as well as talk to these great students that are graduating from these colleges. So I couldn't be prouder to be an alum of Colorado State University. You're all great to be here this evening. And again, I'm humbled to get this. Thank you very much.
Wow, the inspiration in this room after those stories is profound. I cannot put into words how proud it makes me as a current student to see what Rams are doing in the world in every industry, from every walk of life. I am truly humble. What an extraordinary honor it is to welcome you home as our 2022 Colorado State University Distinguished Alumni and to be a part of this night. Christy, can you please join us to close out this amazing event?
I know we've done this a couple of times already, but how about another round of applause for these 2 wonderful women? Thank you again to all of our award recipients this evening. Without a doubt, you are some of our most passionate, influential, and distinguished alumni. I hope all of you have enjoyed this inspiring evening. I want to personally invite you to the rest of the great events happening with Homecoming and Family Weekend starting tomorrow. It is definitely going to be a fun-filled couple of days. On behalf of Colorado State University, thank you all so much for being here tonight, and I hope you are as proud as I am to be a part of the Rams family. Before we leave, before we adjourn, I would love all the recipients to come back up here for one more group photo that we can get together. Thank you all again. Go Rams.